This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. We got Alex Navarro here. I teach her some deadlifts and some squats on this day, having her warm up with a little bit of sled work. I always like to show people the sled because it can be a great conditioning tool. On top of that, it's a great tool to help work on weak points, to help with injury prevention, and to allow you to train through injuries. Alex is a fitness competitor. She's going to be competing, I think, November 3rd or 4th here in Sacramento at a bodybuilding show. Bodybuilding, fitness, figure, whatever the hell you want to call it nowadays. Here she is doing an upper body press. Alex is the girlfriend of John Kiefer from DangerouslyHardcore.com. That would explain the DH on her shirt there. Although I think she's a bigger fan of bigger, stronger, faster, but whatever. Anyway, some of the things we're trying to work on with her here, her form's not too bad, but she's doing a lot of weird shit with her head, almost to the point where the back of her head is almost touching her upper back. It's kind of fucking crazy in a way. So that's something that we have to work on. We got to work on having her make a double chin, because every guy loves a girl with a double chin. So this is some of the stuff I'm explaining to her here. Trying to have her keep her head more neutral throughout the lift. You can see how much easier those weights are moving. She's able to fire her hips into the barbell a lot easier. She's probably kind of extending too much at the top and leaning back perhaps a little bit too far. Usually that goes away when somebody goes heavier. I was teaching her both conventional and sumo on this day, and I believe we got her up to around a 225-pound pull, which isn't earth-shattering by any means. But so once that weight leaves the ground, she's able to lock it out pretty fast, but she's just not used to lifting real heavy weights. She's not a power lifter. Like I said earlier, she's a fitness competitor with a gymnastics background, so she has a lot of strength. She just doesn't know how to use it. She just hasn't really tapped into it in terms of powerlifting. There's a 205 pull. But for somebody like this, with somebody with a lot of upside like this, somebody with a lot of potential, there's John Kiefer right there from DangerouslyHardcore.com, the inventor of Carb Night and carbohydrate backloading. Carb Night is the diet I've used to successfully lose over 30 pounds so far, and when it's all said and done, it'll probably end up being about 60 pounds. But somebody with an athletic background like hers, she can improve from a 225 or 205 deadlift to a 300-pound deadlift in just a couple of months. Really, wouldn't be very hard for her at all. Especially kind of having that bodybuilding background. Bodybuilders don't get enough credit for the amount of work that they put in. They're doing so many different exercises on so many different machines that they don't have the weaknesses that some powerlifters have. Now, obviously, powerlifters are much stronger, but a lot of times bodybuilders have some pretty good balance because they don't have a choice, at least the good ones anyway, people that compete. Take Stan Efferding, for example. Stan was able to pick up box squatting, deadlifting, sumo deadlifting, some of the ideas that we have on the bench press and stuff, I mean, right away. And it's because of that bodybuilding background. It's because he's already built up the muscle mass that he needs in order to move the weights properly. So here she is doing some box squats, and we have her again working on that neutral head position. What you can't see here from this angle is kind of how much she's kind of shifting those hips back and curling up her spine. So that was something that we had to try. You can see it there, how far back that belt goes, and the curvature in her spine. Whether your spine is curved in a shape, or whether your spine is curved in flexion, or whether your spine is curved in an arch, doesn't really matter. Either way is not good. You want to have your spine more neutral, maybe slightly arched. You can make a case for. But you could see there, she tried to arch real hard off the box, and it actually took her hips away. She couldn't get back up off that box. Now, I know some of you out there might be thinking, man, I just arch really hard when I squat. And that may be the case for you. And one of the reasons is because in powerlifting, especially those of you in powerlifting gear, the weights are so huge, the weights are so heavy for some powerlifters, that by the time they unrack the weight, or by the time they set their feet up from walking out a big weight, and they quote-unquote arch up, by the time they start to move that weight, their back becomes more neutral. So while you think you may be arching like a crazy son of a bitch, you're probably not. You're probably not nearly as arched as much as you think. And those of you who do round back deadlifting, the same would be true. I had somebody send me a video a few weeks ago. He's like, here I am doing a round back deadlift. It's like, well, you're kind of starting with your shoulders rounded, but you're not even really that rounded. So the strongest position is going to be a braced neutral position for the spine. Keep that head neutral, and you're going to have you're going to yield the best results. The more neutral, the more stiff, the more sturdy you can keep everything throughout a lift, the stronger you're going to become. The stiffer and stricter you can be in your training, the better off you'll be in the long run. It's going to take a long time to build up some of those strengths, but it's worth taking your time with it. Now here she is doing some gymnastic stuff. I'll let you guys enjoy yourselves watching this. And that is it from supertraining.tv. I'm out.